Hi, my name is Lolly. I've been a member here at Victory Life for about 4 years, and I have been in church my whole life. I grew up in a strong, solid Christian home, just like a lot of you. I grew up memorizing scripture and loving God. It turns out that didn't make me perfect. When I was 19 years old, my boyfriend and I made a lot of really silly decisions that led to a teenage pregnancy. I was really scared. Like, really scared. I was ashamed. Like, Satan just flooded me with doubt and shame and guilt and isolated me from everybody. I didn't talk to anybody about it because I didn't want to be preached to and I didn't want to be condemned. I just wanted it to go away. So I really already felt like I knew what my options were, so I didn't need help. My boyfriend and I had a really shaky relationship, so I knew he was gonna leave me. My family was gonna disown me. Pretty much anybody that I talked to was either going to try to force me one way or the other. So I really got to this point where I felt like abortion was my only option. You see, abortion sells you this lie of freedom. It tells you that you can go and you can grow up and get yourself financially stable. You can get married, you can get your life together, and then come back and have kids when you're ready and you have something to give them. So I bought into this lie. I chose me and my boyfriend over my unborn child, and I chose abortion. I vividly remember sitting in that recovery area immediately after, and it was like this darkness just closed in on me. And I remember thinking that this was a place that even God couldn't reach. In this clinic, why would God be here? There's no place for him here. And now inside me, there's no God here. There's no place for him here. And I remember just being encapsulated in this bubble of darkness and just sitting there. And there was no more shame, there was no more guilt, there was no more fear, because even emotions couldn't get into this darkness. And I remember just living in that for the next 10 years. And about 2 years ago, I'm in the women's study at Victory Life. It's Testimony Week, and I keep hearing all of these beautiful testimonies that had nothing to do with me or my situation, but all these beautiful testimonies from women that made God seem like he could conquer the impossible, that everything that I've done doesn't matter. And I kept thinking, I want that. Why don't I have that? So I started praying to God that he would make the impossible possible for me, that he would take this sin that has completely overwhelmed my life and turn it into a testimony to be used for him, just like all these other beautiful women had. So after a couple of weeks of praying that prayer, I started asking about how to deal with this sin. And within a couple months, God led me to a group at Park Ridge Pregnancy Center. And in that group, I really found that I didn't have to be alone. You see, abortion separates you. It separates you in a crowd. It separates you from your husband sitting next to you. It separates you from God. And so God didn't let me sit in that bubble. He brought me here to this group of ladies who knew what I was going through. We gathered up together with those ladies. God brought me to the foot of the cross. See, abortion is like this backpack, and it just gets heavier, and you get used to the weight, and you just keep carrying it. And when you get to the foot of the cross, God tells you to take it off and put it down and walk away from it. And that was scary because I had been carrying this backpack for 10 years. I knew this backpack, and it had been my only real company, so to put it down and leave it there was hard. What was so beautiful about taking my backpack off was that it finally brought me to the place of realization that I didn't have the power to forgive. Only Christ has the power to forgive. That's why you're there. So at the foot of his cross, he was able to forgive. Through Christ, you have this promise of freedom that actually doesn't come back void. It's not a lie or a trick to enslave you. You get to really be free. You get to be restored and redeemed and renewed. And it's real. And I know you don't believe that because it's always somebody else's story. It's always somebody else's testimony. It's always for somebody else. But I promise it's real. I don't live alone anymore. And I don't live separated anymore. And Christ has the power to do that for you too. You don't have to live alone, and you don't have to live separated. A year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I started praying that prayer, the impossible. God came through and he made it possible and real. And that's what I want to offer you right now. I want to offer you the chance to join this group and to find what God has for you there at the foot of the cross. The opportunity to take the backpack off and walk away. And the opportunity for restoration and redemption and renewal in a way that you don't even know is possible yet. So if you're a woman like me that has had an abortion, I want you to know that it's real and that it's available to you. And all you have to do is come to the foot of the cross.